Hi, and welcome to Rise Room. I'm recording this while I'm watching the cover of the riots at the G8G20 in Toronto on CTV Newsnet. So if you hear noise in the background, that's what it is. Yesterday I made the comment that perhaps the billion-dollar price tag may have been warranted after all, and based on what I've seen so far, from about 1 p.m. this afternoon my time, it looks like they're going to need every cent. I would just like to say for the record that the media made the point that many of the protests that had cooperated with police made known their agenda and involved the police in the planning process, had their rallies, had their protests with police involvement and cooperation, and went home. And what happened afterwards was you had everybody else come in who were looking for violence. And that's exactly what's occurred. So, to all of you who had legitimate concerns and legitimate protests, I'm sorry, but your agendas and your causes and your statements of protest and everything you were passionate about has basically been hijacked by people who want nothing more than to rebel and cause, well, what other word is there? Anarchy. So I apologize about that, but you have now been colored with the actions of these individuals. So I am a little bit, actually not a little bit, I'm very dismayed by what I've seen so far. It is the fault of the individuals that are committing these acts that this is going on. But I would submit that perhaps, and I had heard this criticism earlier from security experts, having the G20 summit in Toronto, not the G8 but the G20 summit in Toronto, in the center of the city, may not have been such a good idea, because all they wound up doing was creating 100 different areas that people could gather spontaneously en masse and riot and then melt away. So while the police do have containment in a lot of aspects, instead of having one center where there's a lot of people rioting, what you have is 2 or 3 of them, and you've got reporters at each of these sites doing news coverages and on streets that are very, very narrow and contained. So when the police charge, everybody runs the other way, except it's not a crowd running; it's a stampede, and you do hear reporters who are being caught in it. So I wonder if perhaps it isn't a good thing next time to have the next G8 G20 summit somewhere more isolated from the public. I know that kind of flies in the face of what I said last night about having leaders who are more public with their statements, and maybe this is why leaders cannot be more public with their statements, because this is the kind of effect that you have. But there's going to be more of this coming from me as the night unfolds, because it's still going on and there's no signs of it stopping. And so I'm going to come back in a few minutes when I have more to say, okay? See you soon. Bye-bye. And be safe. Goodbye.